Y'all shit still good.
Episode 91 of the best sports show out is on your screen. You watching Highly Opinionated. I'm your co-host Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, the best co-host in the game, host of the Club JG podcast, and co-host here on Highly Opinionated. What's up, JG? How you doing, my brother?
Fellas, how we doing, man? Another great weekend. Everything good?
Everything is good, man. I can't complain at all. Definitely can't complain. Beautiful weather. The temperatures are slowly coming down. So I guess that's all good from the hell we had to experience last week outside.
No doubt.
Something else. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank, the most important guy here on the show. You see him at the bottom of the screen. We want to thank him for gracing us with his presence. The editor, the producer, Mr. Extraordinaire. What's up, Ross? How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How you feeling, Josh?
Good, man. I can't complain at all. Can't just taking it one day at a time. Everything good with you, my guy?
You know, same. I'm just happy and blessed that I'm in some AC right now, doing this. So I can't complain.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in to last week's show, episode 90. We had the great Dr. Brittany Ballantyne on. If you guys didn't catch that episode, you can go to our YouTube channel and find that episode out. We appreciate you guys for liking, subscribing, following all our pages from X to Instagram to TikTok to YouTube, you name it. You guys' support makes Highly Opinionated what it is. So again, we greatly appreciate all the love and support. Speaking of our social medias, Ross, let them know where they can follow us at on our social medias.
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at Highly Opinionated __. Follow us on TikTok at Highly Opinionated _SS. Follow us on Twitter or X at Highly O_SS. And of course, y'all already on YouTube, so make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Absolutely. Again, it means the world to us. We're an up-and-coming show. We aim to be the best. We try to be the best. If you guys agree or disagree, Highly Opinionated is the place for you. JG, my brother, are you ready to get episode 91 started?
I am merely JG. Let's go, man. Come on, get it together. Let's go.
That was good. I gotta give you credit, bro. That was good. You've been working with me too long. I can't wait till I come on Club JG next time. Wait till I come on there. I got something for you. Let's start off with the NBA offseason. JG. The Celtics and the 76ers made a trade. Paul George was traded from Philadelphia to Boston. Jaylen Brown was traded from Boston to Philadelphia. The Celtics received Paul George, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and the 76ers received Jaylen Brown. However, if you've been subscribed to Highly Opinionated or even the Club JG podcast, one of us has been saying that Jaylen Brown should be considered getting traded from the Boston Celtics.
Celtics should consider trading Jaylen Brown. If you didn't see it already, Jaylen Brown, less than 48 hours after losing, Game 7 to the Philadelphia 76ers, blowing a 3-1 lead, went on a Twitch stream and was saying how this was his favorite year, this season. Now, when we talk about his favorite year, this is where people like myself and the media and the actual sports media and fans and everything, this is where they can take it and run with it.
This is where you say, I'm merely JG. The floor is yours, sir.
And like this, it's days like this where I love that I do this. I've had days where I'm like, why do I keep doing this? And it's moments like these. It's like that's why I do it because I love it. I can't tell you how many people on that very video said things like, "Hey, cut his mic. He doesn't know what he's talking about." As soon as you said trade Jaylen Brown, I immediately scrolled up. I'm like, cool. Fast forward a couple months later, Jaylen Brown gets traded. I didn't hear a damn thing from those people. I even went. You know what I did? I went. This is petty JG. This is when JG get petty. I went back to the video and I commented on them same people like, "What's up, bro?" I only heard from one of them. The other one went radio silent. It's the best feeling in the world when you know that something's coming and you end up being right. Because I am not afraid to be wrong. That's why I do this. So, Jaylen Brown. Again, there was no world where Jaylen Brown could come back to the Boston Celtics. Now, Jaylen Brown has since come out and talked about how like people are overblowing what he said on Twitch, saying like this is his favorite year. He walked it and spun it like, where it's like, hey, I'm really the victim here. And it's like, dude, no one's playing victim here right now. It's just, look, we saw the writing on the wall. Even if you didn't mean what you said, you're too smart of a person, of a man to know that this wouldn't come off a different way. I know he's smart enough to know that. So I'm not even going to try to insult his intelligence. The moment you go, and it's just the timing, bro. You just blew a 3-1 lead to the Philadelphia 76ers, a team that people didn't think belonged in the same court as you. They thought it was going to be a sweep. 5 games minimum. But you blow a 3-1 lead. Game 7 is on your home floor. Jason Tatum once again leaves with an injury, probably likely as a result of him sitting out from his Achilles injury. He can't play. So now, spotlight's on you. You're the number one guy. Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, certified bona fide 1A superstar. Here's your moment. And you blow a Game 7, the first Celtics team to blow a Game 7 on their home floor after being up 3-1. That's the wrong side of history for a franchise like the Boston Celtics. And you're the centerpiece of that, my guy. And then not even 24 hours later, you get on near Mike, where you shouldn't be. Look, when your season's over, especially like that, you should not be anywhere near a mic or a camera for at least 48 hours. That used to be a rule that we would hear. Like when the season's over, don't be near Twitter, don't be near Instagram, posting anything like that. Unless you're like saying, hey, thank you, fans. We appreciate it, stuff like that. Cool. That's it. Say nothing else. Jaylen Brown went into detail talking about this was my favorite year, like all this stuff and everything. And I got you. The context was, hey, the Celtics, people thought it was going to be a gap year. I thought it was going to be a gap year. I thought they were going to suck and be like a top 5 pick and try to get the likes of AJ DeBonsa or Darren Peterson in the team. I thought they were going to suck. But they didn't. They overachieved. The parts around them overachieved. Peyton Pritchard all of a sudden looks like a damn, 6th man of the year, dare I say, bona fide starter. And the Celtics are a top 2 team in the East. All this before Jason Tatum came back. So now I'm on record. I'm in beautiful San Francisco on the ocean, for Super Bowl week. And I say, hey, the Boston Celtics should be a team favorite to win the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals. Because you're telling me that this Celtics team, the way that they've looked, trading for Nikola Vucevic to help with that front line, and now you're telling me Jason Tatum is coming back and he looks 75% of Jason Tatum? Yeah. Tell me who's beating them. And, yeah, we all know how things turned out here, but the fact of the matter is, why are you the way that this comes off, and Jaylen Brown, I know he knows this. He's too smart for this. It's going to come off weird. That's the year where you're finally the guy. You're the number one option. The offense is running through you. Jason Tatum's on the sideline. And you say that. So when I heard that, and I know that Brad Stevens heard that, he's sitting there thinking, oh, okay. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is available? Let's think about this. And notice that I said they should at least consider. I didn't say do it. I said consider. And then everybody jumped on me saying, like, you're an idiot. Cut your mic. You don't know what you're talking about. Just some other loud mother that doesn't need a microphone. I love the comments. Keep them coming. Don't stop. You are the reason why I keep – you give me energy. I need it. Give me more. But so when you do all that, and then, yeah, it's public news that the Celtics tried to trade you for Giannis. There is no turning back from that point. The Celtics made their play. Look, it's like when you're dating somebody and the girl wants to subliminally post things like, oh, you think you can do better than me? I'd love to see you try. And then you're sitting back as a dude like, okay. You want to post something, but you can't return my text? All right, bet. Watch this. Now we getting petty on social media. I'm going to post something right here. I tried to shop your ass. I tried to replace you. So now you tell me, how are we supposed to come back together? What world are we coming back together to make this right? After you just put it on posted subliminally, and then I posted subliminally. The writing's on the wall. The breakup was supposed to happen, and now here we are. Jaylen Brown moves on to something new. The Celtics move on to something new, and now the new stories are beginning, because now we got rage bait Jaylen Brown probably can't wait to go back to see the Boston Celtics, and then we got the Celtics saying that, you know what, I'm going to show you that I did better. We'll see how the story turns out.
That's a very, very great analogy. I like that. You know, I try to be the king of analogies. I like that analogy. If you're in a relationship or you're talking to a young lady and she subliminally posts something on social media, the average guy is going to, you know, take that, either subliminally shoot something back or just hold it in and just, you know, carry on. You're going to carry it. So I like that analogy. I love that analogy, actually. Now, you so eloquently talked about how we got to this point. So let me just focus on the trade. The Boston Celtics got Paul George, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. And the 76ers, again, got Jaylen Brown. For me, I think this has to be a move to another move for the Boston Celtics, because obviously this move makes the Boston Celtics, they take a step back. Jaylen Brown currently is a better player than Paul George. I think we all can agree. Absolutely. Last season, Paul George he played in 37 games. He had a 25-game suspension. I actually think that helped him in the playoffs, because he had to play the wear and tear on his body in the playoffs. He averaged 17 points. He shot 44% from the field. He shot 40% from 3 and 82% from the free throw line. It's not a bad season. Now, if he would have played more, he probably would have averaged damn near 20 points if he would have played, you know, more games throughout the season. Jaylen Brown averaged 28, let's just say 29, because he averaged 28.7. Shot 48% from the field, 35% from the three-point line, 80% from the free throw line. So we obviously know that Jaylen Brown was the better player. Now, what the Philadelphia 76ers did during the offseason, they also added Dean Wade. So they added Dean Wade in free agency, and then they signed Jaylen Brown. So to me, that improves their defense. Dean Wade is 6'10", a versatile defender, can knock down corner threes, can knock down timely shots. And obviously you get an all-world and probably a top 5, top 7 defender in the league, Jaylen Brown. John, I'm going to be on repeat. I said this when we did the show 2 years ago. I said this when we did the show a year ago. Philadelphia 76, they can trade for Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. They can trade for Michael Jordan. They can trade for whoever. As long as number 21 is on that roster, this team revolves around 21. Now, what this allows Joel Embiid to do is I don't want to use the word rest, because people run with that word. When he's hurt, big fella, we need you. You can get fully healthy, because we have Tyrese Maxey, we have Jaylen Brown, we have Tyrese Maxey, we have VJ Edgecombe. That can get us during the regular season. Big fella, we're gonna need you in the playoffs. So just like how I said that Paul George played in 37 games, we need Embiid can probably play between 37 and 40 games, and that could get them right. So I feel like if with the talent that the Philadelphia 76ers have added with Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, don't even think about him playing no more than 60 games. I wouldn't even play no more than 40 games. We have the team that can lead it. We have the guys that can get us into the playoffs.
Yeah. Originally, when I saw this trade, I was like, "What the hell is Boston doing? Why would you trade him to Philly? And the best you could do is Paul George. I understand you get the first round picks and everything. That's nice, but player wise, that's the best you could do is get Paul George, who I'm a fan of. But at this stage in his career, he's significantly less than a Jaylen Brown. You know, that's just what it is. But you said it, and it got me thinking. Yeah, this could be a move in terms of making another move for the Boston Celtics. I don't think they're going to stay pat with what they did with the first trades. That's a great point by you. This does make Philly a lot better. This should help Philly compete in the Eastern Conference. Your backcourt, well, your perimeter defense got significantly better because you're adding Jaylen Brown to an already good wing defender in VJ Edgecombe, solid wing defender in Tyrese Maxey, and now you add Dean Wade, like you said, in free agency, another versatile defender who also can knock down shots. So they got bigger and they got longer on the perimeter in terms of their defense. So that's a big help for Philadelphia. But like you said, with Joel Embiid, yeah, it's still going to revolve around the big fella. How many games can be available, and how good is he, and how much of Joel Embiid being close to 100%. Am I going to get come playoff time? You know, I'm going to refer to something that you said before in the past about Joel Embiid. I wouldn't even play the guy until Christmas. Sit out the first couple months. I want to make sure you get a full freaking extra whatever you need. Don't even play until after Christmas time. That was an analogy by you, my friend. I think that's exactly what Philadelphia should do. I don't even want to see Joel Embiid until after Christmas on Philadelphia. I got Jaylen Brown, Dean Wade, VJ Edgecombe, and Tyrese Maxey. I just need an athletic big that can rebound, run the floor, and catch some lives. I'm good to go. Let Joel Embiid get as healthy as he possibly can, and let's see what we got come playoff time. Because I can't believe I'm saying this already. The 76ers actually have the talent and also the availability to compete in the Eastern Conference. It's not that Philadelphia never had talent. They've always had talent. They've always had a chance to win the Eastern Conference. It's the availability that I've always worried about. And with Paul George and Joel Embiid, unfortunately, availability was a question mark. It was an issue. With James Harden, the playoffs were an issue. I've got Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, a hungry rookie going into his second year. Tyrese Maxey, who we know is hungry, but we know who he is. And then Dean Wade, who has plenty of playoff experience. That is a great starting five that you can have there. And Tyrese Maxey's job just got easier. We just need you to go out and be the scorer that you're known. We don't have to wear you out on defense. Not that you can't defend, but we don't have to wear you out on defense like we were before, because now we got more perimeter defense to further help you and then give you more energy for your offense. So great move by Philly. We'll see what Boston does here, staying pat. But my point here, Joel Embiid. If I'm Philadelphia, I don't want to see Joel Embiid in uniform until after Christmas.
Put that man in saran wrap until December 25th. He can come out of. So while the rest of us open up our Christmas gifts, he can come out of the Christmas gift saran wrap. He can come right back to the Philadelphia 76ers and start practicing and playing. Philadelphia 76ers have let it be known they think they have a championship contending team. They go out and make this move for Jaylen Brown. Again, I don't think that this cannot be the only move for the Celtics. I will keep my eye out on maybe Trey Murphy. I will keep my eye out on maybe Herb Jones, somebody like that. I just don't think the Celtics are going into the season with this current iteration of the roster. If this is the current Celtics iteration of the roster, Derek White has to step up. Peyton Pritchard has to step up. What's the other guy? Oh my God, I forgot his name. A shooter, Sam Hauser. Those guys have to step up. If those guys don't step up, obviously, I think Boston again is taking a step down. Because let me just say it like this. I'll end it with this. And if you guys have to say, I'll end my point with this, and then I'll get the floor to you. Give it back to you. The Celtics really wanted to trade Jaylen Brown. Not only did they trade him in the Eastern Conference, they traded the man in the same division. To me, that is the ultimate disrespect for a Finals MVP, for a guy that should have his jersey retired with the Celtics. He's a Finals MVP. He's an All-NBA player. He's an All-Star. He should have his jersey retired. Now, is he Larry Bird? No. But for what he's done in that jersey, for what he accomplished in that jersey, his jersey should be up there. His number should be up there in the Raptors. They traded this man in the division for a guy that's 36 years old. Jaylen Brown was in his apex, his prime. Paul George has passed his prime and hasn't been healthy in the past 2 seasons. So I just think Jaylen Brown has a chip. I think Jason Tatum is going to have a chip because he's going to hit his name in this. Like, people are going to start saying, can he really be a number one option? So I think this will help Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But JG, we grew up on Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. All great things in life come to an end. That's just part of how sports is. The number one thing I always say in sports that kill it is the 3-letter word. Not sex, not money. E-G-O. Ego. John think he the man. Ross think he the man. I think I'm the man. Dylan think he the man. Tim think he the man. My grandfather used to always say, boy, you can't have too many chefs in the kitchen. When you playing professional sports, everybody in the kitchen think they're a chef, no matter how good the meal tastes. So for me, all good things come to an end. They wanted Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics won the NBA championship. This was not a failure. This was not a disappointment because constantly in the Eastern Conference Finals. They went to 2 NBA Finals and won 1. Those guys should be celebrated. I'm looking forward to see what Jaylen Brown does in Philadelphia. Looking forward to see what Jason Tatum continuously do in Boston.
Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, LeBron James, D Wade. KD and Steph Curry, some of the best duos and trios we've seen in NBA history. You know, eventually it does come to an end. With the Spurs, these guys basically retired almost again.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I don't want to cut you off. You omit in my opinion, one of the greatest dynasties in the NBA. From 1990, well, really it started in 80. You could say 84 because they drafted Michael Jordan. But from 88 to 98, the Bulls were not the best team, the second or the third best team in the league, and then they won 6 titles in the 90s. The Bulls dynasty ended because of the ego of Jerry Krause. Like literally the ego of the general manager. So that's my point. Like you put a lot of egos in this room, man. Everyone wants their credit.
There's no way to this day. There's no way that you're telling me that you bring back that team with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman. They don't have a shot at winning 7. That was all Jerry Krause. Now, man is no longer with us. God rest his soul. But that was just one of the most just asinine things I've ever seen. Like since David Stern, again, God rest his soul, did not let Chris Paul go to the Lakers and throw to Kobe Bryant. I mean, there's just no way that you have a rhyme or reason for not bringing this team back other than you want to just have all the credit. But along with that duo, eventually, you know, like you said, egos, something's going to get in the way. Kevin Durant wanted to leave because it was Steph Curry's team. He wanted to show that he was the guy. Shaq wanted to leave because the Lakers loved Kobe more than he thought. So he wanted to go somewhere where he was appreciated more so. LeBron James left D-Wade in Miami because he wanted to go back to try to win one for Cleveland. You know, we'll talk about how we can talk about how that ended up. I still think it was a wild thing to suspend Draymond Green in the NBA Finals. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, unfortunately, and again, a lot of these breakups never make sense to me, but it comes back to the ego, like you said. But my last point with Jaylen Brown, yes, the fact that Boston went ahead and traded him to Philadelphia in their division, not far from Boston, in the same conference, they just want to get rid of you. Let's call it what it was. It was to the point where, like, we can't have this guy come back. We have to figure this out. Somebody take him. I mean, it's just got to that point where it's just like, again, you reach that point in a relationship where your girl doesn't feel like she's appreciated, not being listened to enough, not being seen enough. So then she goes to social media to get more attention. And then some guys think, hey, I'll give you more attention. And meanwhile, the guy's like, you know what? Let's get her out of here. Let's just, you know what? You want to have her. I think I can go ahead and find me something else. But I think that if Boston doesn't make this trade, again, with Paul George to get another player, they're putting a lot of stock into Peyton Pritchard. I read somewhere where Jaylen Brown was kind of the Luka Doncic to Peyton Pritchard's Jalen Brunson. Now, I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that Peyton Pritchard is like Jalen Brunson, but he is a capable scorer. We've seen him go off for 40 off the bench. We've seen him start and have very good games. Peyton Pritchard is a very capable player. I think he can be a good starting guard in this league. But it's different when everybody knows that you're the guy and they know your tendencies now. So I think the Celtics are putting a lot of stock and a lot of faith into Peyton Pritchard with this move as well. We'll see how that turns out.
Absolutely. We definitely will. Can't wait to see the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers play this upcoming season. I have a guess. I have an idea. It will either be the Knicks won the championship, so it can't be an Eastern Conference. So I think the Celtics and the 76ers will play Wednesday night, the first Wednesday night game on ESPN. I think that will be the 7:00 game. The Boston Celtics at the Philadelphia 76ers, or the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics, however you want to do it. Jaylen Brown can automatically just come back to Philly first game of the season, get it over with. We shall see. Looking forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next big trade. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Toronto Raptors have made a trade. Kawhi Leonard has been traded to the Toronto Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-round picks. JG, I'll start us off on this move with Kawhi Leonard going back to Toronto, where he won his last NBA championship in 2019, won the Finals MVP. I'm a Kawhi Leonard fan. I think Kawhi Leonard can look every player during this era all the great players of this era: Steph Curry, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic. Well, take Nikola Jokic out because he didn't beat him. But Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, like I said, LeBron, Luka. all those guys he's beat in the playoffs. The one person he has not beaten in the playoffs of this era is Nikola Jokic. He had 2 chances, one in the bubble, they lost, and then last season, 2 seasons ago, I should say, because the season just ended. 2 seasons ago, they lost to the Clippers lost to the Nuggets in the first round. I picked the Clippers to go to the NBA Finals about 4 or 5 years in a row, in large part because of Kawhi Leonard, because I thought he was that guy, and I still think highly of Kawhi Leonard. However, when you pick someone that many times and you're wrong, you have to admit when you thought you saw something, but you were wrong on what you thought that you saw. I thought Kawhi Leonard would go to LA. I'm not getting into this king of LA thing. I thought he would go to LA and win a championship with the Clippers. I still stand by. In 2021 or 2022, the year that the Suns played the Bucks, at 21 in the finals. I think it was 21.
Yep.
I thought the Clippers would have won the championship that season if Kawhi Leonard didn't run into Boban Bogdanovic's knee in Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals and tear his ACL. Paul George, the whole team was hooping. Paul George, that was the best playoff run he had since he was with the Pacers. So, however, if was a fifth, we all be drunk. So I have to stand on it. I was wrong on Kawhi. Thought he would go to LA and win a championship. He did not do that. I also have to stand on it. Kawhi Leonard, the Paul George, i.e. Kawhi Leonard, move to Los Angeles for the Clippers. It set the franchise back. It set the franchise back tremendously. And I can say honestly, you can make a case it's the worst superstar move. It's the worst move for a superstar in the last 10 years. I'm not talking about a team getting rid of a superstar. You can talk about Dallas. You can talk about Boston if you want to talk about that. You can talk about Ja Morant for the value they got for Ja Morant. I'm talking about a team acquiring a superstar and knowing what they had to do to get this superstar. It was the worst move in the NBA in the last 10 seasons. It set the Clippers back. So I have to own that. Now, what I think he's going to do in Toronto, I love the move for Toronto. I think this puts Toronto in the upper echelon in the Eastern Conference. You have the Knicks. You have who do you think the second best team is in the East now? So New York would be the best. Let's say Boston. Let's say not Philadelphia probably be the second best. I think you can make a case Toronto is in that. Toronto. I think Toronto is currently better than Detroit. I still have a question mark on Miami. I know they got Giannis, but I have to see how they fill the roster out. But I think Toronto, you can make a case at worst is the third best team in the East currently as we speak. So I love the move. You add him to Scotty Barnes. You add him to Amon Quickly. You add him to Jakob Poeltl. You add him to R.J. Barrett. You add him to Colin Murray Bowles. I love him, young rookie. He can keep developing. They already had a great defense. Now you add another versatile and great defender to that team. I think the Toronto Raptors will be scary in the Eastern Conference.
So I'll start with the Clippers. You remember when the Cleveland Browns, they added when they had Baker Mayfield as their quarterback, they went and get the guy that Jarvis Landry, got Odell Beckham Jr., had Nick Chubb. Everybody got all scared. Led to nothing. No playoff wins. Nothing.
Oh no! They won a playoff game. Yeah, Baker beat Ben Roethlisberger.
Right. Yeah, okay, one playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got you. But then they went ahead and got that's not good enough. We're gonna go ahead and get Deshaun Watson. Everybody got all crazy, like, oh my God, the Browns are going to be no. The LA Clippers are the Cleveland Browns of the NBA.
Oh my God!
They think that they make all these moves. They're going to take over LA. Like the Clippers own the Lakers. When the Clippers had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, like it's the Clippers town. It's not the Lakers town. Same thing when they got Kawhi and PG. You know what it led to? Nothing. No championships.
It didn't.
Just failed. Good. This failed seasons, minor success. Got to the playoffs. Teased a little bit, but then eventually they failed. It will never be. Los Angeles will never be the Clippers town ever. It will never be that. Just like Cleveland Browns are never going to be a Super Bowl team. Some things are just not meant to happen. The LA Clippers are one of those teams. That's why I feel like the Clippers should move and become the NBA's Vegas team and leave LA. Get your own fan base. Get your own city. It will never be your town. It's just not going to happen. Now, but moving on to the trade.
Hey, Clipper Darrell, I love you, man. Don't listen to John. You still got a chance, Clipper Darrell. That's my guy, Clipper Darrell.
Want better for yourself, man. Like you seem like an awesome dude. Like you don't deserve this. You don't deserve this crap that you've dealt with the Clippers for all these years. You deserve better. Come on over to the dark side. Come over to the Lakers, man. We got a little something for you, man. But moving on to the trade with Kawhi. I didn't love this trade at first when I looked at it, but I do understand getting off of Brandon Ingram's contract because he was not very impressive in the playoffs. I felt like him and RJ Barrett were kind of getting in each other's way in the backcourt, but he also just really didn't play well, and I can understand getting off that contract. He's also been injured a lot. Grady Dick wasn't going to play. I understand getting off that contract as well. The Clippers, it was over. You traded Paul George. It was time to end that era and get Kawhi Leonard out of there. We understand that. Defensively, Toronto can be one of I think the best defensive team in the league with the amount of length they have. RJ Barrett, you talk about 6'5" length at point guard, shoot guard. Emmanuel Quickley, another great defender, has length. Kawhi Leonard, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. That's a pretty Colin Murray Bowles, like you mentioned. These are really great defenders. So Toronto has a chance to be one of the most pesky defensive teams in the NBA. But where the hell is the shooting going to come from? Kawhi Leonard, while capable, he's not known to be a three-point shooter. Scotty Barnes, capable, not really known as a three-point shooter. RJ Barrett, not a very good three-point shooter. Quickly, not a very good three-point shooter. Jakob Poeltl isn't really a three-point shooter. So that would be my main concern with Toronto. You've got some players. You have a chance to be a relevant team in the Eastern Conference. You could probably be one in the top 6, maybe win a playoff series. But eventually, if you can't shoot, you can only go but so far. I don't see Toronto being going that far in the playoffs, assuming that they'll be one of the top 6 teams if they do not become a better 3-point shooting team. That's just the way the league is. If you cannot shoot, that weakness will be exposed in the playoffs. So that's my only concern. And then how is Kawhi Leonard going to sprinkle in with Scotty Barnes? Because I feel like these guys are kind of the same player, same position. So I'm wondering how Scotty Barnes and Kawhi Leonard will coexist.
So I think Kawhi and Scotty, I think they can play off each other. Obviously, Kawhi has experience playing with PG, so I think that can work. Now, you mentioned shooting. Toronto does have to improve shooting. I do like Emmanuel Quickley. I think he can shoot. He's not the best shooter, but I think he can develop. I'm gonna say develop because he's already in the NBA. He's an established vet. But I think his role on this quote unquote team would be to penetrate, get other guys involved, but also when Kawhi and Scotty Barnes are double, you make open shots. And I think RJ Barrett can do that. But I agree with you. They do need to go add at least one, maybe 2 shooters. They have defense. I think they can add a shooter and a backup big. I know Colin Murray Bowles he's 6'7", but that's the backup center. For me, I think they need a backup big, a versatile backup big. So I would do shooting, and I would do a backup versatile big for Toronto. But again, as we both said, they have the defense, they have the team. They gave Cleveland a scare the first round, 7-game series. And like you mentioned, they didn't have someone that can definitively go get them a bucket when the money was on the line. Toronto has that now. So it's just, can you sprinkle in the right team around Kawhi and Scotty Barnes to, try to fulfill the maximum potential of the Toronto Raptors roster. Before we end this and move on to our last segment for this, I want to speak on the Clippers real quick. I like what the Clippers had. You got Darius Garland, just obviously has the toe injury. Can he stay healthy? They drafted Keaton Wagler, 5th pick in the draft. Brandon Ingram, let's see what he does. He returns back to Los Angeles. You got Derrick Jones Jr. They signed Rui Hachimura today to a 2-year contract. I like that, so he stays in Los Angeles. Ben Mathurin is a restricted free agent. We've heard that the Clippers are in on Peyton Watson. So let's see what the Clippers can do. I like their center rotation. You have Brook Lopez starting. You have Isaiah Jackson, but I like Yannick Keenan Nasenhauser. He went to Penn State. One of your alma maters. I like him. Young, athletic, big, can protect the rim, can jump out the sky. So the Clippers have went from old to young in a matter of a season and a half. Let's say a matter of 2 seasons and a half, from Paul George to James Harden to getting off of Vincent Zubac to getting off of Kawhi. So I think the Clippers will be a frisky team. I think they'll be in the play-in conversation, play-in hunt next season in the Western Conference.
That's nice.
Every team not going to win the championship every year. You don't even think the Lakers going to win the championship next year.
I don't, but we're still the Lakers.
Yes, you got that. The Lakers own LA. I was wrong. I thought the Clippers for a second could own LA, and I thought my guy Kawhi could go to LA and get himself a championship. He did not. I was wrong.
You drank the Kool-Aid. You drank the Kool-Aid.
No, Kawhi, my man. I've been following Kawhi. Kawhi was in San Antonio.
San Antonio times I got you. But I told you.
I wish him well in Toronto. I wish him
You
well
gotta,
in Toronto.
you
Hopefully
gotta
he can go
start,
up there.
you gotta start listening to me with some of this stuff, man. Like, I told you
I
what's going to
should.
happen.
I should. I drank too much of the LA Clipper Kool-Aid, forgetting that it's a team in LA. They really run LA, and that would be the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's like, no, the Dodgers and the Lakers. Keep it
We
high.
run that too. Hey, we run that too in baseball. We ruining baseball right now, and I love it. Everyone's talking about, the Dodgers are ruining baseball. They damn right we are. Figure it out. Stop being little babies and get better. Figure it out.
I wouldn't say the Dodgers are ruining it. The Yankees did the same thing in the '90s, so I wouldn't say that at all.
We don't hear anything about that though. It's just like, the Dodgers are terrible for baseball. They're ruining everything. Like, go back in history and look at the Yankees.
Absolutely. JG, let's end this segment with Norman Powell. Norman Powell, he signed a 2-year, $45 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. Norman Powell, coming off an All-Star season last year in Miami. He averaged 22 points over the past 2 seasons in Miami. Your thoughts on Norman Powell going to the Chicago Bulls?
I had the pleasure of meeting Norman Powell a couple of times in camp. Great dude, hard worker, deserves every bit of the money he's gotten. There was no way that he would take a pay cut in Miami, so he deserves his money going to Chicago, a team that I think is on the upswing. Drafting Caleb Wilson out of North Carolina, getting Thiago Splitter as a head coach. Chicago is building in the right direction, and I think this is a great spot for a savvy veteran like Norman Powell. Glad he got his money. Great move by Chicago and him.
I agree with you 1,000%, brother. I love the move. I'm going to take it a step further. I think the Chicago Bulls right now will be in play-in. I will make my predictions, as the NBA season gets closer. I think they'll be in play-in contention in the East. I like Josh Giddey. I like Norman Powell. You still got Pezelis. You drafted Caleb Wilson. Remember, they traded for Nicholas Claxton. So that'll be their starting center, young, athletic. Again, going to protect the rim. You have Trey Jones as the backup point. You've drafted Dalen Swain. You still have Isaac Okoro, and you have Rob Dillingham. So for me, and Jalen Smith is a backup center in Chicago. So I think this team, they're young enough. They're in the Eastern Conference. I think that the Chicago Bulls will be in the hunt in the Eastern Conference play-in next season.
We ain't touching the Snowtown Lakers yet, my man. We ain't touching the Lakers yet. What's up with that?
We gonna get to the Lakers. I got you. We're gonna take a segment. We're gonna take a break. You feel me? We're gonna get to your Los Angeles Lakers. I know you got a lot to talk about with your Los Angeles Lakers. I promise you that. We will get to your Los Angeles Lakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick break. You watching Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. As you can see, we have a special guest. This young man is the boys' head varsity basketball coach at Towson High School. His first year as the Towson Generals boys varsity head basketball coach. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Highly Opinionated to the great Tyler White. What's up, Tyler? Welcome to Highly Opinionated, coach.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you coming on, man. As I said before we get started, man, congratulations on all of your success. I know you still got a lot of laws to knock off the list, but congratulations on where you are now. And I'm looking forward to not only have you on this episode now, but having you back on the episode in the future, my guy.
Absolutely. We're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let's start off with, again, you are the boys head varsity basketball coach at Towson. Describe your first year on the job, man. What do you think were some of your strengths, and what do you think some of your weaknesses were?
I feel like year one, it was just a test, just to see where I was mentally with, doing everything, every job, everything falls on me. So, I feel like it was an okay year. We won 10 games, lost 10 games, so we split even. I think my strengths has to be, preparation. Like, I was prepared every night. I don't think it was a night I wasn't prepared or didn't know what the team was going to do. Weaknesses can be I probably will overthink something too long while doing the process of, scouting. And then this year, I'm just going to do more with just trusting my gut on the first time. I feel like it was a couple times this year where, I overthought a few things, and then going back and watching it, I should have just, trusted my gut, trusted my instincts. That's why I'm the head coach. So just got to trust my gut more a little bit.
Absolutely. That comes with, try, what it is, trial and expertise. And the most important word that I learned, I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan. So you went through what I thought the Spurs went through in the NBA Finals. It's an E word. It's called experience. I bet you'll be better next year, this upcoming season, than you were your first year coaching.
Absolutely.
Coming up. So let me say this. At Towson, to be 10-10, to me, that's mighty damn impressive. If you know Baltimore County basketball, nobody looks at the Towson Generals as a basketball juggernaut. Yep. So to have those guys 10-10 in your first season, that shows the progress that you've made. Talk about the assistant coaches that you had: Tyson Smith, Chance Goldring, and Damian Archer. Talk about those guys.
Man, those guys are amazing at what they do, especially helping out. Damian comes from a good D2 school in Alabama where he won the first championship in his school history. Then turned around and came back as a coach and got one back-to-back years. He's our JV coach. He does a phenomenal job with development. This is a guy that in the future probably will be a college coach, if not sooner than later. We have Tyson Smith. Tyson Smith went to Loyola Chicago where they went to the Final Four. He was a big part of that program for a couple years. Played overseas. Now he has his own nonprofit organization called the Keepers. That's very big in all the communities. He brings a lot to the table with X's and O's and a lot of schemes. And Chance is our glue guy. Chance keeps us all together. Chance, he's a Towson alumni. Knows the whole community, can get me in contact with anybody in Towson I need to get in contact with to better the program. Also another guy that's up top on my bench. And I've added 2 guys since then. I've added Demar Smith. He comes from Carvajal, JV. And I added Jamal Wilkins. Jamal Wilkins was my OG from when I was playing at Cecil Kirk back in the day. He was my AAU coach. Brings a lot of knowledge to the table. And, my staff is young, so I added the older 2 guys, so we can have some balance. You still need, you need that old head with the young school. So, mix it together, we can do something great.
Absolutely. I love the combination of what you added. And again, see what you learned in the first year. Okay, we're a young staff. Let's get some OGs in here. Let's learn how to. We might need to do a 3-man weave. You feel? We might need to do something.
We might need old school one day.
Old school on them one day, just so the guys so the players can understand, like, there's more than one way you can skin this cat to get a W. You can win a game. I tell people this all the time, and Coach, maybe I think you'll agree with me on this. This is not sexy. You can win a basketball game 2-0.
Man, all you gotta do is have more points than the next man.
Whether that's 1-0 or 199. You just have to have more. You gotta get it. Gotta get it. And you gotta get it. And 9 times out of 10, most wins, they come on the defensive end. Most people like to score. Most people want to play offense, but that defense is a special type of tenacity to want to play. Go ahead, Coach.
I'm a big defensive guy. Like, when we come in our practice, we stretch, we get loose, and I probably do defense for 35 to 40 minutes of every practice. Like, we work on defense. I prided my team last year in getting stops, which we did, switching up different zones, different man, different looks. But for me, I think like I said, last year we got a lot of stops. It was just we couldn't score the basketball a lot last year. That was our weakness was. So, like I said, I don't want to speak too soon. I can't tell you names, but I got some guys coming. Like I said, I'm not gonna say any names, but Towson basketball will look different. It will look different. We will make noise. Year 2 It ain't gonna be the big brother tapping little brother on the butt like good game. No, it ain't gonna be that. We come to fight. We come to compete. We come to win a basketball game.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love to hear that. I know as a coach, it's your job to not only instill it in your staff, but instill it in your players. Now,
Yeah,
we ain't homecoming. We
yeah,
here to
nah,
we
yeah,
here to play. We here to we here
yeah.
to we here to win.
Every night,
We here to bust the team ass straight up. That's what we
for
here to
sure,
do. So
for
I
sure.
love that mentality, and I'm glad that you passing that down from the assistant coaches to your players.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you can go basketball. I'll do this. I'll give you. What is your main emphasis as a basketball coach that you pass down to your players, and what is your main life emphasis that you pass down from as a man to young men trying to become a man such as yourself?
All right. Well, I'll start with the basketball side. For me, I'm big on competing. I'm big on competing. I feel like this generation, they just it's so much technology and all this other stuff going on now that they don't compete. Like I know, like back, I rode past a basketball court today, there was no kids out there, and I'm just like, bro, when I was in high school, it might have been 30 cats out there trying to get winners. Like that's what I do when I get my guys in the gym. We compete. Like I don't care if that's your buddy. You got to kill him today, and vice versa. That's just I'm big on that. I don't like plays off, so yeah, that's just half the battle. I had to set that culture of competing. Like like I said, Towson has never really. We won a state championship in 1963.
Damn.
And, and yeah, and Billy was the main player. Went off to Maryland. 1963. It's 2026. So when I got in, I had to start from the bottom up, man. Just get the culture to compete because, like I said, Towson has never been. In our era, Towson hasn't been good.
Mm-hmm.
So competing would be my basketball trait. And for me, on the man type timing, I'm big on guys just being men and holding each other accountable to be men. Like, I feel like it's a lot of guys these days where it honestly is about the kids for sure. It's about the kids from jump. I feel like a lot of men try to insert themselves in that kid world, and that's not the way to go about it. I feel like you have to put them first, and then with teaching them, you know what I'm saying, like how to be men around other men. That's a problem today. So we have those uncomfortable talks. We have those vulnerable talks. We come in once a week and guys are able to, whatever they went through, we have a men's circle where, you can let it out here and it's safe. This is a safe place. Um, yeah, and I just hold them accountable. Like even like small things, like bro, I feel like we don't teach them enough. Just like, you hanging with your guys, it's always that, how it was. It's always that one kid that just he going left. But no, bro, everybody going right, you need to go right. This is the way. Take your brother hand and take him the right way. Don't let him do foolish stuff by himself just because, in the heat of a moment. No, we need to think together. We got to think, be calm, and, think like men, move like men.
Absolutely. Accountability to me is everything. You have to be accountable, whether you're a basketball coach, whether you host a sports
Yeah.
show, etc. You have to be accountable
Yeah.
because the next generation is watching. Whether we like it or not, they're watching. So they're watching the era of my ways. They're watching the era of your ways. So
Yeah.
you have to be accountable. And I always say, you should be never. You should. It's never. You should never. It's never a wrong. It's never a wrong time to do the right thing. And when you wrong, apologize. Be accountable for your action and move forward. Whether it's on the basketball court, whether it's in practice, or whether it's in life, accountability to me is everything. So I love that you make sure that your guys know that accountability is everything in life. And to be honest with you, you're a true life story of that. Accountability has got you to where you are today.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you're familiar with the Maryland area. You went to high school, Perry Hall High School. Talk about how Perry Hall shaped you for college and ultimately shaped you into the man that you are today.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because I can spin that a whole different way because we live in this era right now where all these kids want to go to private school. Like all these kids want to go to private school, and I don't think they understand. You have to be a private school kid to go play in the private school league. It's two different things, and people don't know the difference between that today in Baltimore County and Baltimore City, the Maryland area. They look at these private schools and be like, oh, I'm gonna go private because he can do X, Y, and Z. No, bro, it's two of these phones. This phone can pick up and call any college coach that any private school coach can call. It's not about where you go in high school. Public school is fine. Like you said, I went to Perry Hall. Perry Hall has produced many Division I athletes, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. It gave me it wasn't a culture shock. You see all types of ethnicities. If I'm saying it right, I'm sorry. I sound crazy. And it just prepares you for the real world. Like nobody's holding your hand, or the classroom is probably like what 25 to 30 kids. Yes, it is a big classroom, but however, you get the same education that you get in anywhere else. I feel as though a public school right now is what's best for these kids, because you need to go where you're going to be on the floor. You need to go where you can put those numbers up to make some noise for somebody to come see you. It definitely it made me tough because every night, like I said, I played for Perry Hall, so we were okay, but we weren't one of the top teams. So we played the Milfords back then. Milford, like these kids don't know now, Milford really ran the county probably 10, 15 years straight. Like nobody was touching them.
Yeah,
nobody was touching them. Like
so, I'll say this because I'm familiar. I have a lot of friends, even friends to this day, brothers that coach to that school now. In fact, I'm working on a guest to come on this show eventually. He coaches up at Milford, working on multiple guys actually. I don't think people understand the dominance, how dominant Milford Mill basketball.
They don't understand it.
I don't think they understand. I don't think they understand the talent that was in that school, especially for a 5 to 8 year stretch. I mean, it's longer than that. I don't want to poo-poo nobody. I'll get killed. So, they had talent. They had talent for 15 years. Yeah. They had about a 5 to 8 year stretch of talented players where they won state championship. Might have lost in the state championship, got back there and won a state championship. Milford,
they won. If I remember correctly, they probably won 90. I don't remember what 90 it was, but they won 90 consecutive county games at one point.
I believe it.
like I said, I don't know the exact number, but I know it was in the 90s for sure. And that's what they don't know. Like, bro, they be running to these private schools, bro, and it's like these public schools have good programs, whereas though. I'm gonna tell you the situation. So these kids do this. This is what they do, and it's bad that they look at public school like this, but they rather go sit at like a Calvert Hall, a Mount St. Joe, a Mount Carmel. They like to go sit at those schools for 3 years. Then they want to transfer public for their last year, and then your last year you kind of already cooked. Let's be honest. In today's world, by your senior year, if you ain't made no noise, it's cooked for you. But then you expecting guys like me at public school, you come to me the last year. That, I did X, Y, and Z. Why am I not getting scholarships? You're not getting scholarships because you haven't been seen for 3 years.
Exactly.
So, like I said, public school for me, it made me who I was. It gave me that chip on my shoulder. Whereas though when I walked in gyms out of town, like, all right, it was time to get busy. Like, it don't matter that I'm 5'9". I'm guarding whoever. I'm going at whoever. It is what it is. And it gave me that platform to be who I am, what works for my game. And the people around you, like I said, you go to public school, you don't have 5 and 6 good guys. You probably got you and one of the other 2 guys that can boogie a little bit, but that's better for your game rather than taking the back seat to 5 other guys.
Absolutely. And obviously you guys do this in public schools. Mm-hmm. But the recruiting in private schools is different than the recruiting in public.
Yes. Yes, so, absolutely.
And by me going, let me say this. I went to Calvert Hall.
Right.
So I graduated Calvert Hall in 2011. I'm making it seem I forgot the year I graduated.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2011.
Right.
There's a game in 2010. Calvert Hall at Milford. Like that. Like I'm bringing that game up to make your point. That was, if you ask the players on Calvert Hall, other than playing Mount St. Joe and St. Francis, that was their most exciting game of the season. I worked with one of the best players, if not the best player on. Well, in my opinion, he was the best player.
Nah, he one of the top guys.
Yeah,
sure.
With JG, Damian Lee, Damian Cool, Don Ye. I mean, like they would tell you, like that was one of their most exciting games, and that was at Milford. You don't like my point is that kids today, listen, you guys should pick the school that's right for you. Don't pick the school because your homeboy going to Mount St. Joe and you think,
Right.
nah, that's not how this works. Like
work.
private schools is a total different beast than what public schools are.
I'll say this: it is different. It is different. The difference is with them and us is a lot of those coaches, they run a lot of sets. They slow the game down. It's not a lot of running gun. It's a lot of, you really got to know the details of basketball when you go to private school. At public school, you have time to learn it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when you get to private school, you have to know that stuff already. If you don't know, then when this kid coming off a pick and roll and you not lifting out that corner, if you don't know stuff like that, you shouldn't be going to a private school.
Yeah.
Because it's more, I'm not gonna say it's more structured, but it's a different style of basketball. Like, yes, it'll get you ready for college, but it's a lot of guys out here, you know, it's a lot of public school guys that run some good sets that'll get you ready for the next level.
Absolutely, for sure. You, speaking of your basketball expertise and playing basketball, you talked about playing at Prairie Hall. Talked about how Prairie Hall led you to eventually for your junior and your senior seasons going to Central Penn College.
Like I said, it just, you know, when I was at Prairie Hall, I wasn't playing with 4 or 5 great guys on the floor at the time. No offense to those guys. They gave everything they had every night, but some guys were lacrosse guys, some guys were baseball guys. They played other sports.
Yeah, basketball wasn't that end all be all.
Yeah, exactly. Basketball was my sport. So how it helped me was it was a lot of things I had to do on my own. And it was a lot of tough shots I had to take and hit. Or, you know, you tired from the first 20 possessions, you got to be tough on that 21st possession. Like, it made me a hard body to where as though I could get the job done, whether I was tired, hurt, sick, whatever it was. It built me. And when I got to Central Penn, the program is not what it is now, but when I was at Central Penn, our whole non-conference schedule for 2 years was Division I schools. I even played against probably 2 or 3 guys that was lottery picks in the draft. It gave me that toughness. It gave me that will to win. I mean, we didn't win many of those games, or we wasn't really in many of those games, but you could tell when the game was over, I held my own. I belonged there.
Absolutely. Junior year, you averaged 10 points, shot 47% from the field, shot 46% from the 3-point line, shot 81% from the free throw line. Your senior year, you averaged 11, shot 46% from the field, shot 44% from the 3-point line, and shot 70% from the free throw line. So you got better as you progressed your 2 years at Central Penn. You're being at Central Penn. Talk about playing under Coach Kenton Austin. Talk about how I'm assuming maybe your college coach maybe led you into coaching.
So no, my coach at Central Penn was Coach Archer.
Archer, okay, excuse me.
Coach Archer. Coach Archer was a basketball junkie.
Okay.
A basketball junkie. We were always in the gym. He knew his stuff. He pushed us every possession. The culture he set there, you know, Central Penn was like a bounce back school. When I mean bounce back school, like we had a lot of guys that came from Division I schools, maybe got in trouble, maybe just couldn't pass the classes where they were. It was a dog eat dog culture. Like every night in practice was a fight. Might have even been a fight in practice. Just like you said, like I told you, what I built mine off of is competing. We competed every day. We competed. It could be anything. We was competing. He made us compete. Whereas though it was so many guys on our team that could really get busy, that you couldn't take a day off competing or you'll lose your spot. Well, you'll lose your spot. And that's how I'm trying to have that. That's how I'm trying to have it at Towson. You know, you got to bring it every day. Our champions bring it every day.
I've never heard of a champion or someone that we idolize in this sports game that took a day off, took a second off, took a moment off. Whether it's football, basketball, hockey, baseball, etc. Like you have to be. I tell my son this all the time. People are in love with sports. I'm infatuated by sports, not only because I have a show, but it's because like I think sports is the greatest thing greatest thing in the world because it teaches camaraderie, and it doesn't matter. I'm black, you're white, I'm black. It doesn't matter. You're Republican, that don't matter. But we try and beat Milford, or if I'm at Milford, we trying to beat Towson. Like we're trying to win this. We're trying to win the game that's ahead of us. We don't care about none of that other stuff. So I commend you on that, and I believe that you will definitely instill that dog eat dog mentality at Towson. Yeah, go 10-10 your first year. To me, knowing Towson basketball, to me that's impressive. I will say, you mentioned this earlier. Since 1963, Towson won the state championship. 63 years. I'm not putting pressure on you this year. I'm not doing that. I will say, the New York Knicks broke a 53-year drought of not winning the championship. So I guess the maybe 2026, 2027 can be the year that Towson ends their state championship drought. And
we're working on it. I'm not gonna sit here and be cocky and just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna win it. No, it's gonna take some hard work to get there. Do I think with the guys we bringing in, can we do it? We can do it. But that starts now. Starts in the weight room. It starts conditioning, getting shots up, the proper work for these guys to be ready. I am going to switch. Like I said, I got a few different pieces, so we'll look completely different to where as though I can switch up offenses and do a little bit different, a lot more different actually. But it's possible, bro. It's possible.
Absolutely.
Definitely possible.
Anything is possible if you put your mind to it and you have a set goal and a set plan.
Yep.
Towson High, the right young man. You feel me? So I totally believe in you. Looking forward to you sending me a schedule. Come out and show love and support. You know that, Coach. Can't wait for that to happen.
You got to come to the Delaney game.
I got you. You send me a schedule, Coach. We DM. We'll exchange numbers.
The Delaney game gonna be crazy because that's how our crosstown rival. It'll be big. It'll be 1,000 kids in there. It'll be big. I'll make sure you come to that one.
I got you. I will be there, Coach. You have it. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. I will be at the Towson and Delaney game at Towson whenever that game is. Looking forward to it, Coach. Before we get you out of here, obviously you're a basketball coach, so you're well aware of college basketball. I know you keep an eye on the NBA, obviously. Your thoughts on this crazy NBA offseason? You can take it wherever you want to take it.
Man, wherever LeBron goes, somebody in trouble. I hope it's the East. He got probably 2 more years left.
Where would you want him? Where do you want him to go?
I don't know. He don't need to go nowhere where he gonna be the main guy. He's not that and he's not in that part of his career anymore.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna lie, Philly starting to look good. Philly starting to look good. He might need to go to Philly.
You put him with Tyrese Maxey, a plush client. You put him with VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Listen, we spoke on me and JG spoke on Philly earlier. It's very simple. It comes down to this. I would put Joel Embiid in Saran wrap, and I would not take him out of Saran wrap until
the playoffs.
Yeah. No. You need to play a little bit before that.
Just a little bit.
Get a little rhythm. You feel me? But we gonna get you right. We gonna have you sitting for a while, and then when the money time comes, we start getting you out that Saran wrap. You learn how to play with Braun, Jaylen Brown. You already know how to play with Maxey. You already know how to play with Edgecombe. Man, that Philadelphia, I like Philly for him too. I will say this. Yeah. I like Philly for him. And obviously, we all know about the connection with Cleveland. I would not be surprised if he went back to Cleveland.
I honestly, truly believe that's where it will end at. But, I mean, that's just, I don't know. I don't know, like, cap space and all that type of stuff. I don't really look into that. But that would be, like, the ending, a great ending to his book, back in Cleveland, finishing it off. And then if Bronny come too as well.
I have an idea for you. You obviously mentioned Bronny. I have an idea for you. Okay. So Cleveland, we're trying to get the band back together. Now, what's one player that LeBron played with that he necessarily didn't want to stop playing with, but the guy forced to trade out? How about we do this? How about we trade James Harden straight up for Kyrie Irving? And you bring Kyrie back to Cleveland. and James Harden goes to Dallas. Dallas is already reloading, rebuilding.
Yeah, Dallas gonna be tough. They getting a lot of youngins.
Yeah, they getting youngins, and they got a new head coach and the old Michigan coach. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I forget his name too, but he know what he's doing for sure to win
So,
that.
yeah, Dusty May, former
Yeah,
Michigan,
that's his name.
won the national championship. Now he's a new head coach in Dallas. So you put, since we doing it, I don't know if it's some legs to this, but if Cleveland really wanted to get LeBron, why not trade for Kyrie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, and people, people always got this narrative. Once stuff hit the social media, it's gospel to these people out here, but I don't even think they really even had no misunderstandings or nothing like that. But you're a millionaire and you didn't won, you want to go be the guy. So I feel like that could happen again.
Coach, I love you, Coach. You know this because you're so modest. Because this is the coach in you. You know what got into him. It's a 3-letter word. I mentioned it early in the show. EGO. You deal with this as a coach. You know, ego. You got, let's say you got a 15-man roster. You know this. You know this, Coach. Your best player has this big. Your 15th player has just as big an ego as your first player. The only thing is the first player he putting up the number so he can talk his shit. The 15th player ain't getting in the game, so he can't really say make him look stupid.
Right. Yeah.
But you know this, Coach. The 15th player has just as big an ego as your first player. So we know how this goes. The ego got involved, but I think time heals all wounds. You know this, and I think that I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would love to see if LeBron went back to Cleveland. They obviously going to try to get Bronny. They obviously going to add Bronny.
For sure.
But go get Kyrie. You put Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Oh my lord, that's something. I think that team, they would be the favorites to win these.
They'd be the favorites, but I ain't gonna lie. The Knicks just got a will to win.
Yeah, they do.
They play hard every possession, every night. They play hard, and you can never count them out too. They've been down a lot of points with minutes left and came back and won. So
yeah, I know.
Can't overlook them.
I know a game that specifically happened in the NBA Finals. I still have nightmares about it. Game 4. They was down 30 and came back and won that game. So for me, I definitely agree with you. The Knicks, I like what Toronto did. They got Kawhi Leonard back.
Oh, yeah.
They have a all laid out defensive team.
Yeah, they do. And they're young.
Miami, they went and got Giannis. So let's see how they finish building out the roster out. So
I'm not really a Giannis fan. I don't know why. It's just he doesn't excite me. He just doesn't excite me. It's like
my bad. What do you think Miami needs to add to the roster to maximize having Giannis on the roster?
Gotta have shooters around him because he can't shoot.
Yeah.
Gotta have shooters around him. Nothing but shooters. Shooters and people that can defend.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Gotta have shooters. You got Bam, you got Giannis. They're not 3-point markers.
Yeah, nah. They need a mob.
Andrew Wiggins is not 3-point marker.
No. You need some shooters around that guy because all they're gonna do is start sinking in on defense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Coach, I want to commend you on your first year at Towson, man. Towson Generals. Congratulations on that. You guys were 10-10. Looking forward to coming out next season and watching you guys play. From all of us here at Highly Opinionated, we wish you nothing but the best. And we look forward to having you back on the show in the near future, Coach.
Absolutely. I'll do it again. Appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely, Coach. We look forward to having you back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy. for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. JG, my brother, it's that time, the best segment in sports. This week's edition of Let's Talk About It. JG, we are going on vacation next. Our last show will be next week. So we're trying to fill in as much as we can before we go on vacation. By the time we get back from vacation, the NFL training camps will be long underway. Preseason games have already happened. We'll be damn near getting ready for the start of college football. So we won't be here to give you our quarterback. We will not be in real time to give you our quarterback competition predictions. But here we are now. We are going to give you who we think will be the week 1 starter for these 4 teams. And let's start off in the NFC West with the Arizona Cardinals. We have Jacoby Brissett, we have Gardner Minshew, and we have Carson Beck, who was drafted in the 3rd round by the Arizona Cardinals. So he drafted right. Yeah, he was drafted. Yep, so he was drafted in the 3rd round, 65th pick by the Arizona Cardinals. So JG, who do you think will be the week 1 starter in Arizona? Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, or the young rookie Carson Beck?
Well, as we know, Jacoby Brissett's been dealing with wanting a raise from the Arizona Cardinals. He eventually made his way to camp. He was campaigning for that. I think when it's all said and done, Brissett will be the starter for week 1 for Arizona. I don't think it's going to be for the entire season. I think eventually Carson Beck will take over the reins for the Arizona Cardinals. From what we've heard in camp, he's been pretty impressive. This is a guy that's played a lot of football, had a lot of starts under his belt going into it. So that experience is definitely going to bode well for him. But right now, I think Brissett is going to be that week 1 starter. Gardner Minshew will be that insurance policy for right now. I think eventually Carson Beck will step in, before the season's done for the Arizona Cardinals.
This is the one that I actually agree with you on the most. I think that Jacoby Brissett will be the week 1 starter, and the reason why, now you don't want to have a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back in the same backfield. And to me, the only two viable players to be the starter in Arizona is the aforementioned Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck. I think Gardner Minshew, we know what he is. He's a good guy to have in quarterback room. Might be able to, school a guy here and there, but he's a career backup. There's no disrespect to him whatsoever. Hell of a career. Remember what he did in Jacksonville when he started. So he had the stash, he had everything going on. So shout out to Gardner Minshew. But I think it's a 2-man race between Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck. And I think you're right. Jacoby Brissett starts. You have Jeremiah Love. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think will try to come back and have a revelation type of season. You have Michael Wilson. You have Kendrick Bourne. You have one of the best up-and-coming tight ends in the league in Trey McBride. So Arizona has some weapons. Jacoby Brissett, if you look at Jacoby Brissett last year, he was 23-8. He had 23 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. QBR was 41.2. So that shows you the lack of talent. Arizona had a top 3 pick for a reason, So for me, Jacoby Brissett will be the week 1 starter. I agree. I think Carson Beck definitely will get some time. And I'll take it a step further. I think Carson Beck will eventually be, I don't want to say the future of Arizona, but I think he'll have a chance to be the quarterback of the future in Arizona with this new regime, with LaFleur taking over as the head coach. JG, let's move on to another team in the NFC. Let's move to Atlanta, where you have Michael Penix and you have Tua Tagovailoa. The Atlanta Falcons have a new head coach. His name is Kevin Stefanski. I'll start us off on this one. To me, Kevin Stefanski preaches being accurate. Tua Tagovailoa is more accurate than Michael Penix. And also, more importantly, he's not coming off an injury like Michael Penix is with a torn ACL, third surgery to his knee. So for me, I think the week 1 starter in Atlanta will be Tua Tagovailoa. I think he fits what Kevin Stefanski wants. Get the ball out to the playmakers: Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Jahad Dotson, Kyle Pitts, who they signed off the franchise tag to a deal. You also have Austin Hooper, who played under Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. He was on the roster when Kevin Stefanski was a coach. So for me, I think the week one starter will be Tua Tagovailoa.
I 100% agree with you on Tua. Michael Penix is coming back from his injuries. I feel like Tua's been the guy that's been available, during training camp. He and Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski, the way that he wants to play, fits Tua Tagovailoa's skill set, for the time being right now. But I think Tua is the more viable starter at this point. So I'm agreeing with you there. I think it's going to be Tua Tagovailoa.
We both think Tua Tagovailoa will be the week one starter in Atlanta. JG, let's move on to the next quarterback competition in the NFC, the last quarterback competition in the NFC. It's going up to Minnesota, where we have J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray. J.J. McCarthy is coming off rough last season in Minnesota. He was the starter last season, in and out with injuries. He had 11 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Kyler Murray is coming off a somewhat down season in not somewhat. He had a down season in Arizona. He got hurt. He played in 5 games last season. He had 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, 962 passing yards. So, JJ, I'll let you start us off with this. Who will be the week one starter for the Minnesota Vikings? Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy?
It's Kyler Murray. It's been Kyler Murray since the moment he signed that deal with Minnesota. It will be Kyler Murray throughout the season for Minnesota, barring injury or just terrible quarterback play to the point where you have to go to J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is not ready yet. He just isn't. He's not. He hasn't shown reliability in terms of availability. He's gotten injured. He's got concussions. He's got shoulder injuries. He's already proven that his durability is already a question mark, and he hasn't been that good when he's been out there. He's not ready yet. So Kyler Murray is an established veteran. He's going to have a better offensive line. He's going to have Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to, along with T.J. Hawkinson, along with Aaron Jones in the backfield. This to me is a no-brainer. It's Kyler Murray's job to lose, barring something catastrophic. I don't see J.J. McCarthy seeing the field this season, to be honest.
Third time, we agree. I think the starting quarterback will be Kyler Murray. You saw the frustration last year with Justin Jefferson. It was it was written all over his face. You could see it. I mean, he would be 10 yards wide open. The ball would be 15 yards above his head. He'd be 10 yards.
I'm sorry. I'm amazed that Justin Jefferson has not requested a trade yet from Minnesota. And I feel like if J.J. McCarthy was rolled out there again in week 1, by week 4, Justin Jefferson will be begging to get out of Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota better hope Kyler Murray can re-energize Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. He damn sure will be asking for a trade. You ain't got to worry about that. That definitely will be coming. To me, this is all about Kyler Murray. This is all about Kyler Murray. This is all about, can he get his career back? This is the perfect place for him. He's inside. It's not the toughest division. It's not like the brutal NFC West where you got Seattle, you got San Francisco, and you had the Rams. The NFC North is tough, but it's easy. To me, it's an easier division than the NFC West. So this is all about Kyler Murray, and you have an offensive head coach. And I think this is the best offensive head coach you play for in Kevin O'Connell. I think he's a better offensive coach than Cliff Kingsbury. So for me, this is all about Kyler Murray. This is all about Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, his offense. I think Kyler Murray will be the week one starter, and I agree with you. I don't think J.J. McCarthy sees the field, and that's not a bad thing. Like you said, J.J. needs to develop. And hopefully,
it's not a bad thing to sit out, guys. Like they don't have to be. Everyone is not going to be freaking Patrick Mahomes or Lamar or Josh Allen. Some guys need time to get ready. Fernando Mendoza, the clear-cut number 1 pick all season long, he's not going to be the week 1 starter. He's not ready yet. It's hard to actually develop these guys. Tom Brady said it eloquently. The NFL clearly has a developmental problem because these guys, these GMs, these owners feel pressure to put these dudes on the field before they're ready because people want to see them play. They want to put money in their pocket. They want to have people in the seats instead of worrying about what's best for their franchise. You got to get these guys ready first before you throw them out there.
I'm glad you mentioned the Raiders. Speaking of the Raiders, you had your pick. I guess you made your pick official. We have Kirk Cousins and we have Fernando Mendoza. You think the week 1 starter will be Kirk Cousins?
Yes, I think the smart thing for the Raiders to do is to not rush Fernando Mendoza in there week 1. Put Captain Kirk in there. These guys are basically best friends now. I don't know if you've seen some of their videos. It's like I think they reenacted Step Brothers, which I think is crazy because they kind of almost look like Step Brothers.
Yes, they did.
But Kirk Cousins is the correct choice to have at week 1. He's a stabilizing quarterback that can get these guys going. Let's see how this offensive line has improved since they got Tyler Linderbaum from our Ravens. It still hurts. And then also getting Max Crosby back for the Raiders. Let's see how this team develops in the first few games. And after, let's say, week 4, week 5, even week 7, then throw Mendoza in there and see what he's got. But I don't think he's a day one starter right away, and that's not a bad thing.
So for me, this is the one way I'm going to disagree with you on. I think Fernando Mendoza should be the day one starter just because of one of the last points you mentioned. They got Max Crosby back. And I think the energy that Max Crosby will bring back to the team because he was traded and then not traded. So obviously he's a Raider. You know he'll be a Raider. Listen, I'm not picking the Raiders to make the playoffs, but the Raiders are going to be improved. Like, you can just see it. You can see that what they've done. They added to the offensive line. They added to the defensive line. So the Raiders are going to be improved. And I just think, listen, Kirk Cousins, to me, this is not Arizona. This is not Arizona where you got a young guy and an older guy, and you want the older quarterback to play. I want Fernando Mendoza to play. I'd rather him get his lumps out the way now. You can learn the team. You can learn the situation. You have Ashton Genty, who I think who will have a bounce back season. Now, I will say the Raiders, they don't have a true number one on this team, number one wide receiver from the looks of their roster, so they might have to go out and sign that. You do have some veterans available. You might have some veterans that want to stay on the West Coast, i.e. Keenan Allen. So I think Fernando Mendoza should be the week one starter for the Raiders. Just get the lumps out the way early. He's going to be the franchise quarterback. We understand that. We know that. Let's just get the lumps out the way early and let's let him play. Carson Beck, we don't know if he's going to be the franchise quarterback. I can think that the Vegas, they're gonna move heaven, earth, the sky, everything to make sure that Fernando Mendoza, every I's dotted and every T's crossed to make sure he is that guy or he is not that guy. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna give him every opportunity to prove it. So, JG, let's move on to our last quarterback competition. Let's go on to your favorite city, the great city of Cleveland. They love this man in Cleveland. They love it. Between the way he talks about the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Cleveland Guardians. So we have what I think is the best quarterback competition in the NFL. You have incumbent, the best.
Okay.
Yeah. I shouldn't say the best. I should say the most interesting, the one's going to get the media eyeballs on. I shouldn't say the best.
That sounds
Deshaun and Shedeur Sanders are. I don't see them on an everyday basis. But the one that's going to catch the most eyeballs, the most media attention is Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. So, JG, the floor is yours. Who will be the week one starter for your former offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns? Who will be the week one starter?
God bless. Oh, man. It's going to be Deshaun Watson. He's looked healthy in camp. He's the most experienced quarterback of the group. And to be honest, I don't think Cleveland wants Shedeur Sanders there. I think they should look to trade Shedeur Sanders. I've been reading some stuff on social media that people have called asking about trading for Shedeur Sanders. And you know what? I think Cleveland should go ahead and do it because I don't think they want him there. I really don't think they do. I think Sanders fell into their lap in the 5th round where it's like, all right, cool, we'll take him. But I don't think they really want him there. Not because he can't play, but I just don't think they like him. I don't think they want him to be there. So I think that Cleveland should help. Atlanta should take a look at it, Kevin Stefanski. Miami should take a look at it, even though I know they have Malik Willis down there.
Atlanta should take a look at who?
Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, you know that ain't happening. No, you know that ain't happening. Oh, no. Not with Kevin Stefanski there. Absolutely not.
No, I get it. I'm saying they should. It's not going to happen. I'm saying they should. Hell, New Orleans. I know Tyler Shuck. I know Tyler Shuck had a solid second half of the year.
Well, yeah, no. We good in New Orleans. No, we good. Tyler Shuck the man in New Orleans.
I'm not sold on Tyler Shuck.
He better than Shedeur Sanders right now.
I'm not sold on it. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
But honestly, I think Deshaun Watson I think it's his job to lose. I think with Todd Monken, the longtime offensive coordinator, a lot of NFL experience, he's going to lean towards the guy who has the most experience in these situations, especially with a team where he's brand new. He's trying to establish something here. He's probably going to lean on the guy that has had the most years, gone through most of the adversity like Deshaun Watson has. Right now, he looks healthy. Dylan Gabriel's not going to do anything. So, in fact, I think he lost his number to Jared Verse when they traded him. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with Deshaun Watson, and I would explore trading Shedeur Sanders from Cleveland.
The week one starter in Cleveland, and what's it, 54, 55, 56 million reasons why, it will be Deshaun Watson. He will be the week 1 starter. Now, I think Shedeur Sanders will play at some point in time throughout the season because I think the Browns will be, as you say, the Browns, probably a 4-13, 5-12 type season.
5.
So, yeah, 4-13, 5. Okay, well, who do you think they're gonna win a game, 2 games, 3 games? Is 5 too many? Did I go too high?
I think 5 is a little gracious. Let's stick it with 4 at max, something like that.
Okay, let's just say 4. Okay, let's say Cleveland. As Cleveland, I'm a little bit more optimistic than others. So hey, listen. At worst, let's just say Cleveland and go 4-13. They have a bad 4-13 season. So when you have a season like that, you're going to see multiple quarterbacks. So I think Deshaun will be the week 1 starter. I think Shedeur Sanders will come in. I think he will, when Deshaun plays bad, when they want to make a quarterback change, I think Shedeur Sanders will be the quarterback. What I'm looking for with Shedeur Sanders is, can he, when he gets in the game, can he prove to the Browns management that he's the future at that position? Because the Browns have multiple picks next year in the first round. So we know that this quarterback class next year is going to be what they thought the quarterback class this year was going to be. With Dante Moore, Arch Manning, Noah Sellers, just to name a few guys. So I think that this season will be very, very big for Shedeur Sanders. Cut out all the noise, cut out all the BS. Don't give the media nothing to talk about. When you come into the game, just play your game. Like, you can, I'm not saying not to do your celebration, not to do all that. But some of the stuff he was doing last year as a rookie with the media, bro, don't respond to Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan's in the media. Rex Ryan's job is to talk. Your job is to play. If you play, Rex Ryan will have nothing else to say but that Shedeur Sanders played good. That's the only thing he can say. He can say he don't like your antics, but if you doing 3 touchdowns and whatever, he don't give a damn. You put your arm like this, arm like this, arm like this. Like, it doesn't matter. Just go out there and perform, and everything will take care of itself. I always say, John, there's cream rises to the top. If you're good at your craft, the talent is the talent. It's about you putting in the work and the time in to develop your craft. Let the world see how talented you are. Let the chips fall where they may. One more thing about, you mentioned Shedeur with New Orleans. I like Tyler Shuck. I think Tyler Shuck has done enough to keep that job. Now, he has to build off of what he did last season in New Orleans. Like, if I was New Orleans, I wouldn't trade for Shedeur. I think they have other pressing needs on that team. That's an older roster. They're still in cap hell. So I think that Tyler Shuck is good in New Orleans. But I do agree with you. I think at some point in time, if Deshaun Watson plays good, then Cleveland will have to trade Shedeur Sanders. But if he doesn't play good, he has an opportunity to show that he can be the franchise quarterback that the Cleveland Browns have been looking for since they came back to the NFL in 1999. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen? $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. JG, we're going to end the show talking right on the NBA offseason. You asked for your Los Angeles Lakers early in the show. You asked, my brother, you shall receive. Your Los Angeles Lakers have been free agency heavy. They have traded 4 first-round picks, 2 unprotected picks, one in 2031, one in 2033, and 2 first-round swaps, 2028 and 2030, to the Utah Jazz for Walker Kessler. And they signed Walker Kessler to a 4-year, $130 million deal. Along with getting Walker Kessler, the Lakers signed Quentin Grimes to a 4-year, $60 million deal. They signed Colin Sexton to a 2-year, $19 million deal. And Sandro from the Toronto Raptors, they signed him to a 4-year, $52 million deal. with a player option. The Lakers also traded DeAndre Ayton. They traded him for Jaden Hardy and multiple second-round picks. So DeAndre Ayton goes to Washington. Jaden Hardy comes to Los Angeles. JG, the floor is yours. Big avid Lakers fan. The Lakers run LA. The Lakers run LA. The floor is yours, brother.
I mean, we do run LA. I mean, look. The difference is with the Clippers, we hang up banners. The Clippers hang up selfies. That's all you need to know right there.
Oh, okay.
That's what they do. So, my Los Angeles Lakers. First of all, LeBron James is no longer a Laker. The Lakers can finally start working towards a championship team, a championship roster. They finally can start working in that direction because, yes, they're better off without LeBron James. I'll say it a million times. They're better off without him because they weren't going anywhere with LeBron James. So if we're not going to go anywhere, let's actually start building to the championship level team around Luka Doncic, who's been the best player the past couple of years with the Lakers. Let's build around that guy. And respect to one of the greatest players we've ever seen, LeBron James. He's 41 years old. We can't keep committing money to a 41 going on 42-year-old, no matter how phenomenal of an athlete he still is. This is not smart business. It was time to move on, and they finally did that. Now, with these moves, Walker Kessler, you got yourself a better center. I think Walker Kessler is a better option than DeAndre Ayton. You know, he's 24 years old. He's 7'2". He's a capable three-point shooter. He's also a rim protector and a lob threat. That is a great signing from the Lakers. That is a desperate need that you needed to fill is the center position. You need to get better on perimeter defense. Quentin Grimes is actually one of the better 3-and-D players in the NBA. He's not the best. I'm not saying he's top 5, whatever, but his specialty is perimeter defense. That's what you sorely needed, especially with a backcourt starting of Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. Great scorers, terrible defenders. You got to get some good defense out there on the perimeter. Colin Sexton, another decent defender that can be a backup point guard for Luka Doncic, where you don't have to keep Austin Reeves with the ball all of the time. So that's another good move by them. So, and then Jaden Hardy, that was you had to get rid of DeAndre Ayton. I made a joke saying like, hey, let's go to the next segment when DeAndre Ayton opted in. Of course he opted in because I don't see another NBA team offering this man a contract after the season. I think his days are numbered. He is finished after this year with the Wizards, unless a great whatever spark of whatever come. If the light bulb goes off, let's say the light bulb goes off. DeAndre Ayton has a solid season. I don't see that happening because the man is just not committed. I don't see the consistent effort. So the Lakers did a great job getting off of that contract, getting Jaden Hardy, another young guard to add to this team. Sandro from Toronto. We're not going to try to pronounce his last name. This guy was almost a 40% three-point shooter last year for Toronto. No, we're not going to try that. This guy was almost a 40% three-point shooter from Toronto last year. So good for shooting, good for spacing. You needed that. Not saying that this team is going to compete for a championship right now. It is not. They're not ready. Not right now. Can they win some games? Can they sneak into the playoffs? Yeah, sure. But this is about building towards the future to actually be a championship caliber team around your superstar and Luka Doncic. You weren't going to do that if LeBron James was still there. If you kept this team the way that it was intact, there were too many flaws, and you were going to run into the same problems with the same elite teams in the playoffs like every year. So I love the moves that the Lakers are making so far. I think they are trending in the right direction. The funniest thing I've seen about this team is that somebody tweeted this is the snow time Lakers because we got basically all white boys on this team. It's hilarious, but you know what? Have at it. These guys can hoop. I think the Lakers are heading in the right direction. Still things they need to build on. Now over here hooting and hollering saying like we're going to win a championship this season. I'm a little more level-headed than that. But the Lakers are finally heading in the right direction and not doing the same cycle thing they've done for the past 3 years.
I'm listening to your wonderful soliloquy, and I'm listening to a point. I was sitting in this same spot last week, and I was trying to tell you and the masses that the Lakers can build a championship contending team around Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. No, you can't do that. I mean, you got two best players. They got to play defense. They got to be Michael Jordan.
I still got words, and I still got words about it. Still got words.
They got to be this, and yet this week. They go out and they add Walker Kessler, one of the top 5 defensive centers in the league. That's what he is. Let's go back, ladies and gentlemen. Walker Kessler missed last season. The season before that, he led the lead in blocks. Now, not to be funny, he won't ever have that title ever again because there's somebody else that will always have that title. But he will be in the top 5 for sure in blocks. Listen, if you're not number 1 in blocks, we know why. It's a freak out here. It's a 7'5" alien on the loose. So I got that. So I kind of put his defensive category numbers in one category and everybody else in another category because that's the more realistic category. Walker Kessler's a hell of a defensive center, I shouldn't say a hell of a player. He's a good to very good player, and he's a hell of a defensive player. He's the type of center that you remember Dallas, Daniel Gafford? Remember Derek Lively? Oh, okay, cool. He got a better offensive game than both of them. I digress. Then you add Quentin Grimes, like you said, 3-and-D guy, Colin Sexton. You add Sandro, shooter. Listen, they added Cameron Cook out of the draft in the first round from Baylor. He went to Baylor University. I like this. Sorry.
He said Cameron Cook, like our boy from Calvert Hall.
Oh my God, I think about Cam Cook. Cam, if you see this, bro, I'm sorry. I had Cam Cook on my mind. I love you, Cam. Keep doing what you're doing down there in Florida, brother. All love. Cameron Carr from Baylor University. I'm sorry. They had him. I know you're not a fan of the Summer League. We'll get to that before we end the show. But my point is that you can see that you can watching him play in Summer League a couple times. You can see that he has an NBA body. He can progress well in the NBA. In the NBA. So for me, I think the Lakers have done relatively well with this offseason. And again, I'm gonna stand by what I said last week. I'm not saying the Lakers are going to win the championship in 2026, 2027 NBA season. I'm not predicting that. But this notion that they fell off, it's the Lakers. The Lakers, the Celtics, teams like that, they're storybook organizations in the NBA. They're going to have some down seasons, and then they're going to level back up. The Lakers when the Lakers traded for Luka Doncic, that was their escape plan. At that point in time, they became the Luka Doncic Los Angeles Lakers. And they've shown that. Listen, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. The Lakers didn't offer LeBron a contract. They didn't want him back. There's notion out here that LeBron left the Lakers. No. You can't leave me if I don't offer you something. Like if you left my house and I offered you something, you left.
You can't quit me. I quit you first.
Yeah, I don't know why we doing this. I love Rich Paul, but Rich, let's just go to the next team, bro. I got you. You feel me? The Lakers did not offer you a contract. So if the Lakers don't offer you a contract, that means that 9 times out of 10, they don't want you back. They didn't want you back. So it would be the equivalent as if the owner of this show didn't have Tim back next year or you back next year. People are like, well, damn, what happened? You feel me? They be like, what happened with Tim or John? You get what I'm saying? So my point is that, damn, I just third person myself. That's fine. Anyway, my point is that people were looking at that funny, like, what's going on here? So they didn't offer him a contract. It's okay for LeBron. He's 41 years old. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time. You think he's the greatest basketball player of all time, you have that right. The Lakers just didn't offer him a contract. They moved on to Luka Doncic, as they should. He's in his absolute prime, his apex as a basketball player. Go ahead, bro.
We got to stop listening to Rich Paul when he speaks because this is the same guy that basically said that, Scottie Pippen was better than Jordan or something like that. Some blasphemy that he says on Max Kellerman's podcast with him.
No. That's not Max Kellerman. That's his podcast. They have a podcast together.
I'm saying, they're on the podcast with Max Kellerman and everything. I mean, this guy's just disputed absolute nonsense in favor of his clients. I mean, that's what a great agent's supposed to do. They're supposed to hype up their clients. So, Rich Paul, who I think is a damn good agent. I'm not even trying to question this guy's credentials. He knows what the hell he's doing. But just some of the things that some of his takes, some of the things that he says, is just out. You know what? I shouldn't even say out of his mind. He's favoring his client, LeBron James, his buddy, his client. I get it, but a lot of stuff that Rich Paul does, we got to not put a lot of stock into it. So, of course, he's going to create a story saying that, hey, LeBron James decided to leave the Lakers. But the truth is the Lakers didn't want his ass back because not that he's not a all-time great player. It's just time's up, bro.
Yeah,
Luka Doncic is here. It's like we're literally we're stunning his growth. We're stunning the Lakers' growth if we continue to do this. And it hasn't worked. He wanted Russell Westbrook once upon a time. He wanted Anthony Davis. He got everything he wanted. I am on record, again, a take that I ended up being right about. It was a terrible idea to bring in Russell Westbrook. Terrible idea. LeBron James went on his Instagram and said, "Oh, we won't work. Watch this work." And I said, "LeBron, it's not going to work. I'm telling you, bro." And then when it went bad, guess who got all the blame? Russell Westbrook.
Right.
They wanted to run this man out of town and his family.
The time Russell Westbrook grew up in LA. So they wanted to run the man out of his home, out of his own hometown.
And you know what? I hated that for Russell Westbrook because one, he doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. The guy I believe one day will be a Hall of Famer. This was just a terrible team for him. A terrible team for him. So I hated the move. But again, it's LeBron James. He's the basketball savant. He knows what he's talking about. It's LeBron, yo. They're gonna figure it out. It's LeBron, yo. And I'm like, bro, it's not gonna work. I'm trying to tell you. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, hey John, you was right, bro. I know. Stupid.
Oh wow! Time out. Let me say something. You actually have people in your life that call you and tell you that you were right instead of only calling you when you were wrong. I'm gonna tell you a quick story off air. You'll understand why I'm saying that off air. I don't never have people call me and tell me I'm right, bro. I'll give you a quick story. I'm a Victor Wembanyama fan. I ain't hear from people from the first round of the playoffs, second round of the playoffs, bro. I know a guy that told me that Anthony Edwards was better than Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs beat that man after that was so bad. That man dapped the Spurs up 8 minutes left in the last game at home. They were getting beat by 30. I know a guy that told me that the Thunder, they got this guy, that player. They was going to beat the Spurs. Hey, bro, guess when I started hearing from people? The NBA Finals. I started looking around. I'm like, nah, people. They started. Now, you know why they came out during the NBA Finals, right? Cool. So, you got good people in your life. Yo, keep them people in your life, bro. That's A1. Because I only get people call me when I'm wrong. They don't never call me when I'm right. So I got you. Keep them people around. My last thing on the Lakers offseason, again, I think the Lakers are building up. They have Luka Doncic. It's his time now. The Lakers obviously will be in the playoffs. Let's see what they do for the rest of this offseason. Let's see what they do. Maybe they can get their hands on Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson will be a great 3-and-D guy for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I would feel a lot better. I would feel a lot better about this team if they got their hands on the Peyton Watson. I still have my concerns about Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic being my starting backcourt because they are terrible defenders. It's hard. Like I said, you can hide a guy on defense. It's really hard to hide two guys on defense. Just want to say that.
Yeah, you got that. I'll give you that. It definitely is hard to hide two. And I think the Lakers, they know their deficiencies. All smart teams know their deficiencies. And I have to give credit. JJ Redick is a good coach. He's a good coach. I was critical of the hire. He's a good coach. He makes smart OTPs out of timeout plays. So I gotta give him his credit. He'll throw a zone up. He'll muck it up. He'll do all type of stuff to mess up the game flow, to get the game flow where he wants it to be. I think JJ will be relatively well. He wasn't the best defender as well, so I think he'll know how to hide Luka and Austin Reeves to the best of his abilities. The best way you hide them is to do what they did. Add defenders around them. And that's what the Los Angeles Lakers have done. JG, let's move on. DeMar DeRozan has been waived by the Sacramento Kings. He leaves Sacramento. Thank God. He finally gets the hell out of Siberia. Because I don't know. That Sacramento team, they just need to pass it over to the young guys. Darius Acliff, we saw him play in the NBA Summer League and the what's it? Sacramento? It's not it's a Golden One Classic. Golden One. They had a Summer League game in Sacramento. So they have one currently. Summer League right now is in Golden State and in Sacramento. The Vegas Summer League starts July the 9th. So they need to pass that down to Nick Clifford, Alex Caravan, and the seventh overall pick that they drafted in Darius Acliff Jr. So I'm happy that DeMar DeRozan is released from Sacramento. Now, JG, the question is, where would you like to see DeMar DeRozan play? And I will start us off. I'll be very short and very simple. The Detroit Pistons. They need a second scorer. They have defense. I expect the Detroit Pistons to re-sign Jaylen Brown. They went out and signed John Collins to a deal. So you show up your four. You shored up your four because Tobias Harris left and went to San Antonio. You have your five and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown wants $287 million. Bro, you're not getting the max. You play like ass in the playoffs. For the most part of the playoffs, you listen. I'm giving you 5 years, $125 million because nobody else can offer you anything. So I'm gonna give you 5 years, $125 million. You sign that contract, and then whatever. Because nobody else out here is gonna give you $250. No team is giving you $200 million. They don't have the money. So if I'm Detroit, I ain't trying to be petty, but to maximize the value on my team, I'm giving him 5 years, $125 million. So he's not sucking up all the cap space, kind of like what Boston had to get rid of Jaylen Brown because they had two people making $300 million. You can't build a championship team like that in today's NBA. DeMar DeRozan, go to Detroit, play with Cade Cunningham, play with Jaylen Brown, play with John Collins, play with Jenkins, play with my man Asar Thompson. By the way, Asar Thompson, you just need to do one thing this offseason. Stand in the corner and just shoot. Don't do nothing else. You and Amen, you can be in the right corner. Amen can be in the left corner. If you guys learn how to make a jump shot, you guys will make a gazillion dollars because you can do everything else in today's NBA. Go to Detroit. DeMar DeRozan, he needs to go to the Detroit Pistons.
Detroit is an excellent spot for DeMar DeRozan. They desperately need a second offensive, option that is not Tobias Harris, respectfully, who recently signed with the San Antonio Spurs. Detroit needs him. I think DeMar DeRozan needs Detroit. Another team that, could use him, and kind of throwing something out there for you. How about the Boston Celtics? How do we know that they're going to trade Paul George for another player? Why not add more length onto the perimeter? Why not add another viable scorer with Jason Tatum and Paul George? Because we know that Paul George's availability is questionable. We don't know if he's going to – it's likely that he won't be available for all 82 games. Why not have DeMar DeRozan there to kind of be that insurance policy, that other scorer that Boston could use, whether it's off the bench or even starting with Jason Tatum and Paul George help? You can have DeRozan play the forward and play small ball with Mitchell Robinson as your center, DeRozan as your forward, PG or Tatum as your three. So I think Boston should take a look at that. But Detroit, I'm with you. I think they need him the most. If I had to pick a space for DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, we both like Detroit. I would say only thing I don't like about Boston, I don't think DeMar DeRozan fits the way they play. They obviously want to shoot up and get up threes. Now, Mitchell Robinson doesn't play that, but Mitchell Robinson provides size. And the way that the Celtics look at Mitchell Robinson is this. He's allowing us extra possessions so that we can give it to Peyton Pritchard, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Paul George, etc. So they look at him as a triple asset, not only because you're gonna get someone in foul trouble, you're gonna grab rebounds, and you're giving us more possessions. So, and you won't necessarily clog up the lane. We don't have to throw the ball down to you because you're not a traditional center. We can throw you lobs, etc., etc. So you don't have to be, posted down in the paint. So I don't think DeMar DeRozan fits with Boston. Again, Detroit, to me, that's the most glaring need, glaring hole. He should be flying to Detroit. He should be flying to Detroit today to sign that contract. Hopefully, DeMar DeRozan takes our advice and goes to the Detroit Pistons. I look forward to watching Detroit next season if they add DeMar DeRozan. JG, before we end the show, you have a very special take on Joel Embiid. The floor is yours, brother.
Yeah, I think the Philadelphia 76ers are going to trade Joel Embiid to the Toronto Raptors. I was amazed that they got out of this contract with Paul George. I didn't think they'd be able to do that. I thought Philadelphia was going to be stuck. I thought they were going to be stuck with Joel Embiid's contract. They're going to be stuck with Paul George's contract, and they're going to be like this middle-of-the-pack team that's just good enough to maybe make the play-in or the playoffs, but not bad enough to get a top pick. They managed to get rid of Paul George. I think the team that would make the most sense if they were to trade Joel Embiid would be the Toronto Raptors. And I think that would be the piece that would help the Philadelphia 76ers really make some noise in the Eastern Conference, because you no longer are going to be slowing the tempo down and the pace down with Joel Embiid, and the offense will flow, I think, differently now that it's not going to revolve around a big center. The game favors wings and guards, and you have that in Jaylen Brown and BJ Edgecombe with Tyrese Maxey. You just need an athletic big that can run the floor, catch lobs, and play good defense. And I think if you manage to get out of Joel Embiid's contract, the Philadelphia 76ers will be a viable threat to the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference.
I like that. I don't know how the financial situations will work, but I like that. I like that idea of Joel Embiid going from Philadelphia to Toronto. I would like to see what Philly will get back in that deal. But I like that because they got off the Paul George deal. They can find a way to get out the Joel Embiid deal. They'd be dancing in the streets in Philly. I know the Philadelphia 76ers executives, new general manager, would be dancing out he'd be dancing out of his shoes if he get out of that contract. So I don't necessarily we don't know if it can happen. We don't know if it's going to happen, but it definitely is a possibility that it can happen for sure. I got one hot take for you. I shouldn't say hot take, but I've been thinking about this for the past couple of weeks, and I haven't heard anyone on TV say this. So I'm going to be the first person I've seen publicly say this. I think this is the first time since the 90s that you could line it up in the NBA and say that the Eastern Conference is better than the Western Conference. Yeah. I'll give you an example. The two best teams in the NBA are in the Western Conference. That would be San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? To me, the next 4 or 5 teams you can make a case are Eastern Conference teams. The champion, New York Knicks, they are let's say they're the third best team in the NBA. I mean, you can make a case they're the best team. Let's just say you think San Antonio, Oklahoma City are better. You could have the Knicks in there. You could have the Toronto Raptors in there. You could have obviously the Detroit Pistons in there. You can have the Philadelphia 76ers in there. So I just gave you 4 teams out the East. You could have the man, I don't want to put this team in here. You're probably gonna kill me for this, but you could put Cleveland in there. Cleveland probably is a top 10 team in the NBA. They're a top 10 team in the league. I mean, they have top 10. They have good enough players for that.
You're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing you did with the Clippers, man. You're doing the same thing with the Cavaliers. You're doing with the Clippers.
I'm not doing anything with the Clippers. All I'm saying is that I just think the East. I think the East. This you can line it up from top to bottom. I think they're better than the Western Conference. I didn't even mention Miami. You have Miami. The Wizards are going to be better. I'm not saying the Wizards are going to win a championship. I'm saying the Wizards are going to be better. I think Orlando will be better. Okay, let's do it like this. The only teams in the top 8 in the Eastern Conference that got worse, you can make a case, was the Celtics. Detroit was the 1 seed. Boston was the 2 seed. The Knicks was the 3 seed. Cleveland was the 4 seed. Toronto 5. Atlanta 6. Philly 7. And Orlando 8. Now, Charlotte was 9, so I get that. But Miami got better. So my point is that I just think if you line it up, looking at the East or West, I think the Eastern Conference is from top to bottom. I think they're better than the West. In the West, you have OKC and San Antonio, OKC. Who's the third best team in the West? I don't know.
I gotta tell you, brother.
I don't know.
I gotta tell you, brother. Vegas agrees with you. I'm looking at the top 10, favorites to win the finals next year. Top 10 teams. It's only 4 teams from the Western Conference.
And what 4 teams are they?
They are the aforementioned San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder at 1 and 2. The next Western Conference team that you find, you have to go down to number 6, and that's the Denver Nuggets.
And then who's the 4th team out of the West? Minnesota.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are the ninth best odds to win the championship next year. So that's only 4 Western Conference teams.
Who got the 10th best odds? Just out of curiosity.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
I listen. Y'all can call me crazy. I think Cleveland would beat Minnesota in the series. Call me crazy. I think if Minnesota and Cleveland played in the series, oh my God. What? Oh my man. Cleveland would beat them. Yeah, Cleveland would beat them. They beat them in the series. Their first year with LaMelo in.
Yeah, with LaMelo Ball, and just out of curiosity, the top five, best odds to win the finals go is San Antonio, Oklahoma City, the New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics, and the Toronto Raptors are in the top 5. 3
of the 5 teams, Eastern Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, the Eastern Conference, you look from top to bottom. Don't look at just the 2 best teams. I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan. I know what they represent. I know what Oklahoma City represents. After those 2 teams, can you definitively tell me who the 3rd best team in the West is? Well, I think it's Denver. I think it's Houston. I think it's Minnesota. I think it's okay. So all those teams are bunched up together. Now, obviously, we have to finish the NBA offseason. Let's see how that progresses. But for me, I think the East is better from top to bottom than the Western Conference. To me, that's the first time you can say that, in my opinion, since the late 90s. Maybe early 2000s, but definitely the late 90s. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for watching episode 91 of the best sports show out, Highly Opinionated. For the best editor, best producer, the best guy here on the show, shout out to the great Ross. Makes us look good with no makeup, man. We love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the best co-host in the game, my guy, the host of the Club JG podcast. JG, quickly, let them know what's going on this week on the Club JG podcast.
So we're just keeping an eye out for the NBA offseason as it continues to progress. You never know what's going to drop. As the summer begins, where all eyes are on Mr. LeBron James. Where is he going to go? Signs are pointing in one direction. I think he's going in another direction. Let's find out.
Let's find out. We will definitely be tuned in and watching the Club JG podcast, brother. You always do great work. All love, my guy.
Always, man. Back to you.
Absolutely. I am merely Josh. We will see you guys next week for episode 92. We are out.